नमस्कार दोस्तों और जय हिंद। आप सभी को स्वागत है इन माय चैनल 1971 वॉर बुक सीरीज। आज हम बात करेंगे एक पैराट्रूपर के बारे में जिन्होंने बांग्लादेश की आजादी के लड़ाई में द टंगाइल पैराड्रॉप में हिस्सा लिया था विथ द 2 पैराशूट बटालियन। टुडे आई एम गोइंग टू इंट्रोड्यूस यू टू कैप्टन शमशेर सिंह विशिष्ट सेवा मेडल, जो पैराट्रूपर तो था ही और उसके साथ हमारे देश में स्काई डाइविंग का जो माहौल बनाया गया था आफ्टर 1976, उसके एस्टैब्लिशमेंट में उनका जो हिस्सा था दैट हैज बीन एक्सेप्शनल, जिनके लिए उनको विशिष्ट सेवा मेडल से सम्मानित किया गया था। द पैराट्रूपर्स वर वन ऑफ द फर्स्ट ट्रूप्स ऑफ द इंडियन आर्मी टू एंटर ढाका सिटी, और आज हम उनके बारे में और उनके ऑपरेशंस के बारे में डायरेक्टली जानेंगे फ्रॉम द मैन हिमसेल्फ। लेट्स वेलकम कैप्टन शमशेर सिंह।
And it's
How are you there?
I am fine, sir, and I think it's morning, early morning in France.
Here it is about 10:15.
10:15. Okay.
There is 4.5 years back. We are, you are 4.5 hours ahead. Huh? Okay, so I am in France. You are in Kolkata, huh?
I'm in Kolkata.
First of all, I took premature retirement as a captain.
Captain. Okay.
Okay, as a captain.
Okay.
When I left the army after 12 years service,
Okay.
I was captain.
Captain.
And I did all these things you must have seen about skydiving. And then this war of
Right.
1971, I did as a captain in my short service of 12 years.
Okay.
Okay. So your first question is how I joined the Indian Army as a paratrooper.
Yes, sir.
That's the first question. You see, at my time, it was the parents who were deciding the career of their children.
Okay.
Okay? So at the age of 11, my parents, they put me for competition and I joined a very famous school known as Rashtriya Indian Military College in Dehradun.
Dehradun.
So it's a very famous college for to become officer in the Indian Army or in the Air Force or in the Indian Navy. So at the age of 11, I left my home in Himachal Pradesh and I went to Dehradun to join this lovely school, which I would say lovely, but our life was very difficult because it was a military school.
Right. Right. Yeah.
It was very disciplined and very hard on our activities. We had to do studies and we had to do sports, and in the sports we had boxing was compulsory. Okay, and when we were given punishment for some indiscipline, it was quite hard, and at the age of 11 it was quite difficult. Okay.
Right.
But like a ironsmith, he tap on the metal to shape the metal. So we were shaped to become officers in the Army, Navy and Air Force.
Right.
And we have got a group of old officers of the Rashtriya Indian Military College to function, and every year we have a meeting, Elders Day meeting in March. I have attended few times from France, but most of the time I cannot attend because it is not suitable for me. But I'm I'm connected to a lot of my old friends.
Okay.
So I did 5 years in RIMC. So after 5 years, I sat for the entrance examination for National Defence Academy
National
in
Defence
Kharagpur,
Academy.
Pune, yeah, and I was selected, and I did 3 years at the National Defence Academy. Then we were to join the Indian Military Academy for 1 year in Dehradun. Okay, when I opted for my regiments, because they asked for regiments, what option you have got? I have given Para, Dogra and Jat. But I didn't get any of my three choices, and I joined 7th Battalion of 11 Gorkha Rifles.
7th Battalion of 11 Gorkha Rifles. Okay.
But during my IMA, during my NDA and IMA, what happened? There was one war of 1962 when I was in RIMC. So when we read the newspapers, I didn't find mention of. I was opting for Navy.
Navy.
Okay? When I read the newspapers, there was no mention of Navy. It is Army who fought the war.
Okay.
So I said I must join the Army. Okay? And then in my mind, I said if I join the Army, I must go for the war and I must be right in the front. So I should join Paratroopers. Because Paratroopers, they are dropped ahead of the Army advance. Okay, so I didn't get Paratrooper. I didn't get Parachute Regiment. And I joined Gorkha Rifles.
Okay.
And it was very nice tenure because I learnt Nepali language and I took the opportunity to go to Nepal and walk from Pokhara to Kathmandu in 1968. In 1968 there was no road, so it was all walking, and I went walking to Kathmandu from Pokhara, and I saw the villages of Nepalis, how they were living, and what were their difficulties. I saw all those things, and I learned Nepali language, so it was quite easy for me. But what happened is that when I was with the Gorkhas, a letter came asking for volunteers for Parachute Regiment in 1968. So I opted for Parachute Regiment, and I was selected because they were tests, and I was sent for Paratroopers course in Agra, and I became a Paratrooper.
Okay.
Okay.
So you must have jumps, sir, from aircraft.
Okay. Basic course is 5 jumps from the aircraft. So during my time, there was one aircraft which was called C-119 Packet aircraft. Packet. It was an American aircraft which was used by the Americans in the Korean War. And after the Korean War, they wanted to discard, and India bought those aircraft.
Okay.
Okay. After 4 years of service, in 1971, Para Brigade, 50 Independent Parachute Brigade, they were putting up their ranks, and they asked my battalion to send one officer on their staff. So I was selected. I was sent to 50 Independent Parachute Brigade. They were based in Howrah, in Kolkata.
Okay.
So what happened is that I went in September, and the preparation for the war had started.
Okay.
Because the situation was that in Bangladesh, the Awami Party had won the election in March, and they had the majority in the Pakistan Parliament. And Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, Mr. Sheikh, he was the president of Awami League. So, but if you know that the West Pakistan was far away from East Pakistan, and the cultures were entirely different. One side it was Punjabi culture, other side it was Bengali culture. Okay, but these Punjabi people, they had the hold over Pakistan politics, and they did not want Mujibur Rahman to become the prime minister.
Okay.
They arrested him
Mm-hmm.
on charges, and they asked their army in East Pakistan to catch the Bengali Awami Party leaders and the people
Mm-hmm.
and put them in prison. So Pakistani army, they went in total aggression against the Bengali population,
Mm-hmm.
and today I can say they did genocide.
Genocide.
So, so the Bengali population, 5 million came over as refugees
Mm-hmm.
on the border, Tripura, Meghalaya, Bengal, West
Mm-hmm.
Bengal. So India could not maintain that such a big population,
Mm-hmm.
and the chief minister of the border states, they said that we cannot hold on to these refugees. So, so India decided to have military operation to occupy one area
Mm-hmm.
along the border and send the population and back in that area. That was the original plan.
Mm-hmm.
So Indian Army, when it was consulted, the chief was General Manik Shah. He
Okay.
told to the Prime Minister that if you want Indian Army to go into war more, we need time. We need that our passes with China, they get closed due to snow in winter. So I need to have the war in winter.
Okay.
So from March to December, our General Manik Shah, he
Mm-hmm.
managed to convince the government so that he could position the Indian Army for the war. Because army is a very big organization. There are vehicles to be moved, tanks to be moved, aircraft to be positioned, navy has to position everything.
Mm-hmm.
So all that needs time. It cannot be done just like this.
Yeah.
So he asked, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I joined 50 Para Brigade in Kolkata, Howrah.
Howrah.
50 Para Brigade, the role given, it was Army Headquarters Reserve.
Okay.
That means this is the Independent Brigade which was under the command of Army Headquarters.
Okay.
Okay? But locally we were under Eastern Command, and Eastern Command was Lieutenant General Arora.
Okay.
Okay? So this Arora, he was a paratrooper. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we are now under his command over there. And in the Army Headquarters, Director of Military Operations, he was Lieutenant General I.S. Gill, a paratrooper.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is that in mind of General Arora and General Gill, they said we must have paratrooping airborne operation in East uh, Pakistan. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the planning began, and I was a junior officer in the Para Brigade headquarters. And Para Brigade headquarters, our brigade commander, Brigadier Matthew Thomas, and my boss, they are the ones who went and did war games with General Arora.
Okay.
So you can imagine, you can say that all paratroopers, they got together,
Mm-hmm.
Army Command of Paratrooper, and they decided for parachute operation. Two places were selected. One was to drop a battalion group, about 800 persons, on the airport of Dhaka, And another plan was to drop one battalion group in Tangail.
Tangail.
Okay, voila. So in the first plan, the battalion group was to occupy the airport.
Airport.
Okay, by paradrop, and
Okay.
then the brigade would land on that aeroport. So like that, a big strength will be available
Mm-hmm.
to attack the capital Dhaka. Okay, Kurmitola.
Kurmitola. Right. There was another one.
Ah,
Kurmitola. Yeah.
so plan A was
Mm-hmm.
Kurmitola and plan B was Tangail.
Tangail. Okay.
Okay, okay. And I was in the air staff, which was planning the air operations.
Okay.
But I was not directly connected because it was my boss,
Mm-hmm.
Major JCM Rao, and the brigade commander who were planning. I was only to fill up the details
Okay.
because I was junior staff. I had only 4 years service. I was junior staff officer. I was captain,
Captain. Okay. Captain. Okay.
captain, and it was a top secret operation.
Mm-hmm.
So it could not be told to anyone.
Anyone.
So for me, I was just observing my boss and what was happening. I was just hearing
Mm-hmm.
and shooting. Okay, and then I was given that you will do this part of the operation order. Okay. So what happened is that when we were in Howrah, we were told to organize training of Mukti Bahi.
Okay.
Okay, and one battalion, 7 para, was allotted the task of organizing Mukti Bahini training and sending them into Bangladesh. So that was one task of the para brigade.
Okay.
Okay. Then the other task was to prepare for this airborne operation. So what happened is that we got the equipment moved from Agra to Howrah to Bengal because battalions were not located in Howrah; they were located in many places. Huh? So we were needing to move the parachutes, okay, to move the platforms for heavy drop. It's called heavy drop, on which we put the vehicles and other ammunition, and they are on the platform and they are dropped from this transporter. So we got the equipment and we prepared for the parachute drop and the heavy equipment drop of artillery guns, of our vehicles, jeeps, and all that, and ammunition. So it took time. So we prepared that,
Mm-hmm.
and people of we took help of aerial delivery research and development establishment, which was in Agra. They
Mm-hmm.
sent personnel so that everything went well. So the parachutes were well packed. Okay, and we and our Brigadier Matthew Thomas, they allotted. There was one Air Force war group which was created,
Mm-hmm.
with whom we were planning together.
Okay.
They were to plan for the aircraft,
Mm-hmm.
and we were to plan for the paradrop.
Okay.
Okay, Pakistan, they started the war on 3rd of December 1971.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were all told, okay, the war has started. Actually, the war had already started before in Bangladesh, because Indian Army was infiltrating Mukti Bahini, and many times there was the Indian Army had to fight across the border to help Mukti Bahini to succeed in their operations.
Okay.
Okay, so now now you see that there is Bangladesh, there is frontier with India, and Indian Army is deployed, and Mukti Bahini is infiltrating, and okay. So what happened is that Indian Army when the war started and it was told to go into Bangladesh, the Pakistan army, they only in some places they put resistance, and most of the time they pulled back, pushed back. They put resistance here and there. They were pushed back, and so to deceive the Pakistan army, the para brigade was moved in Jessore sector.
Yes, sir.
Okay, giving indication that there are no para operations which are going to take place because para brigade has moved to Jessore sector. There were spies everywhere. Okay, and we had just kept back one battalion which was to do paradrop.
Okay. So, sir,
On
in
10th of
Jassur
the
sector, these two para battalions were
yes,
actually deployed in ground role.
7 para and 8 para, they were made part of a division,
Okay.
and they took part in action. We lost one colonel, a lieutenant colonel, and some other officers and people.
But they were
I
in
mean,
ground role.
but on in ground operations.
Okay.
Okay, in Jessore sector, ground operations.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was in Howrah all the time preparing for airborne operation, and my boss also, we were in Howrah, and we were checking up that all the loads, everything was being done. So I was not part of 2 para. I was part of para brigade headquarters.
Okay.
Okay. On 10th December, the brigade was pulled out and brought back to Bengal. The headquarters, they came back to Howrah, and I was very keen to go for the war.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to my brigadier. I said that, sir, we are prepared for the paradrop, and I want to go, with 2 para. So he said, what will you do? I said, I'm trained officer. I'm trained for war.
Mm-hmm.
So I will go for war. Any task given to me, I will do. Patrolling, ambushing, holding defense, going into offense. I'm trained.
Mm-hmm.
After 1 hour, he sent me message, you can go. And the paradrop was to take place next day.
Okay.
On 11th.
Right.
On 10th, he gave me the permission. So I collected my ammunition, my stain gun, and my equipment. And I was knowing one officer in 2 para.
Mm-hmm.
I told him that if I join, I will come to your company. So this 2 para was located in 2 places. One was in Kalai Kunda. They were to take off from Kalai Kunda, and the other was to take off from Dum Dum, Kolkata, Dum Dum.
Okay.
So I joined the company in Dum Dum on 11th morning. They were to take off on the 11th evening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
The Air Force, we had asked to be paradrop at night, but Air Force, they told, okay, before that there was a small thing that plan 1 was dropped because the Air Force, they had dropped bombs on Kurmitola runway,
Mm-hmm.
and aircraft could not land. So we fell back on the second plan of Tangail,
Tangail.
and Air Force told we have got complete air superiority in that area,
Mm-hmm.
so we will not drop you at night because there were too many aircraft. We had 54 aircraft, AN-12, which is very big aircraft and faster. We had Packets, we had Dakotas. So there were 54 aircraft, and then the escort of fighters and everything had to go.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, we will take you, or we will fly you in the evening, just before it becomes night. So I joined in Dum Dum, and we took off. We took off at about 2:30 in the afternoon, yeah? And at about 4:30, I was already jumping from the packet aircraft. Huh?
So you were out from the aircraft.
Out of the aircraft, suspended
Okay.
on top of the dropping zone, Tangail.
Tangail.
Huh? When I looked left and right, the sky was full of parachutes, and I was one of the parachutes. Okay.
It must have been such a wonderful sight, sir.
I mean, this was what I was wanting.
Yeah.
This is what I had desired. I had desired to go into war as a paratrooper, and here, there I was. Huh? Okay. So I looked and I saw that I was going to land in the corner of a village.
Okay.
Okay. I said that this is very dangerous, but the village was empty. There were only few old people, and there was a little water here and there, and I touched the ground. Okay.
Okay.
When I touched the ground, took off the parachute, took off my sting gun from the container.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I looked around, and those people who had jumped with me, I saw nobody. Actually, what happened is that Jawans, they are very simple people. Huh? So they were having fear in them. So they just lie down on the ground, not moving.
Mm-hmm.
So then I shouted, "Get up! Huh? Get up!" And all of them got up suddenly.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All of them got up. So I said, we had dropped, they are called Pathfinder Group, half an hour before the main drop. So they were dropped at 4 o'clock, and we dropped at 4:30. And their job was to prepare the dropping zone, put lights, because we said that this light is visible. So we had red, green, blue light, so that companies, they could move towards those lights. That was called a rendezvous.
Okay.
Rendezvous. Okay. So those boys, they got up, and we said, okay, let's move over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we reached our that point where we had to get together.
Mm-hmm.
Already, there is a small story that we had sent one Bengali officer about 15 days before. We had infiltrated this officer, and he was to be with the commander of Mukti Baini in that area. His name was Qadir Siddiqui. Okay. So in Tangail area was commanded by Mukti Baini commander Siddiqui. So he was infiltrated and joined headquarters of Siddiqui.
Okay.
But we had not informed this officer or Siddiqui that there will be a paradrop at such and such time.
Okay.
So when the paradrop started, Mukti Baini, they informed Siddiqui that they have been dropped over there. So he sent people. He sent guides, trained Mukti Baini people to be helpers to us, to remove the loads, the guns, vehicles, remove them with the parachute, carry our ammunition. So there were a lot of Mukti Baini people who joined us at our rendezvous. And so they were very happy, and so they distributed water, oranges. Luckily, there was no Pakistan army there
Okay.
at that time, at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
We got together, and my company was Delta Company. We were to take one side of the Pungli Bridge. So we charged, but the trenches, they were empty. We occupied, and then the whole battalion came, and we occupied areas around Pungli Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It became night, and suddenly we saw vehicles coming, going towards, coming to go towards Dhaka, and we were actually waiting for this moment that when Pakistan army retreating will reach Puri Bridge, we will spring one big ambush on them. So there were about 20 vehicles, I don't know how vehicles over there, and first vehicle got fire. So it was a big fire, so whole battlefield was lighted up, and we were firing with machine guns. But what happened is that Pakistani soldiers who were in the vehicles behind, they got down and they charged into our positions. So in some places they were hand-to-hand fight.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So some of our people got wounded, and we killed Pakistani soldiers. We took prisoners and all that. Okay. So now you can imagine the battlefield at Tangail, where paratroopers have landed around the bridge, and we occupied the bridge, and the first vehicle has caught fire, and everywhere it is all lighted up, and Pakistani troops have got down from their vehicles, and they are charging into our positions, and shouting is going on, fight is going on. So it's a battlefield. I don't know if you have seen this film, The Longest Day. There is a film, Longest Day, where the Allied forces they dropped paratroopers in Normandy,
Norman.
and so it was. We were. It was. I had seen that film, and in my mind it was being replayed. Okay, at about I don't know 3 o'clock, and everything had become quiet, and we were digging our trenches, because you have to dig trenches to protect yourself, and we were putting wire and this to protect our kitchen. So what happened is that next day morning, on 12th morning, one helicopter came and landed in our area, and it was our commander of our division, Major General Nagra, who came with the brigade which was to link up with us, because they caught up with us in the morning, in the early hours of morning, at about 9:30, and they passed our position and they went ahead. Okay, they went to us, and so this helicopter landed. So the link up brigade, he was also a paratrooper. So now you can imagine how the paratrooping operations went, with all the paratroopers who were to meet each other and help each other and fight together.
Fight together, right?
Fight
I think it
together
was
because
Brigadier H.S. Clare. He was a paratrooper.
Claire,
95
para-
Mountain Brigade.
yes, he was paratrooper. General Nagra and Claire, they landed in our area, and they brought our lunch, because we were not carrying too much food. They brought lunch, and some of the wounded they took in the helicopter. I don't know, one or two person, I don't remember. So that was the paradrop operation. We were linked up, and our army of brigade of Brigadier Clare moved ahead, and so we could relax, and we occupied the headquarters of the deputy commissioner of Tangail.
Okay.
So in one room I found one Bangladesh Mukti Bahini flag, which I carried later on as a war trophy, Mukti Bahini flag.
Okay.
Okay, so that was 12th. Then suddenly on 15th night, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th evening, we were moved. Okay, we were moved. We said we will take over the advance. ahead of the brigade of Brigadier Clare, hmm, and we were moved to one subsidiary road which was leading to Dhaka.
Okay.
So I was at night. There was shelling going on around us. We were hearing artillery firing onto us. We could hear the shells going overhead and now. But I was safe. My company was safe, and my battalion was safe. But we were walking at night. In the morning, what happened is that we had sent patrol ahead. There was a bridge. After the bridge, there was climbing. There was hills. Our patrol got ambushed on the bridge. People got killed, about 3-4 people, and the rest of them they had to jump from the bridge. Yeah? Okay, so now you can imagine in the morning, it has just become day, and our people have died, and we are. I was with the first company which was going to move into Dhaka, and so when the orders came for move, we had to walk past our dead people because they were to be collected later on. You can't collect immediately. So later on, the party comes, collects the wounded and the dead, and the rest of the people they keep moving. So we were to move, and opposite us, there was Baluch regiment guarding that part, and it's them who had ambushed our patrol.
Okay.
But suddenly, what happened is that we got orders to stop because in the morning we had sent one of the officers uh, into the Pakistan area in Dhaka with white flag, and the Pakistani general was asked, "Look, you are surrounded because paratroopers have reached, and there was other Indian formations who were lobbing shells in Dhaka. That you are surrounded. It is better that you surrender." Okay. So when we had reached, we were going to climb the hills, and we were told to halt. Suddenly, one car came, and one Pakistani general got down with our officers. They put a white flag, so we were told, "You will not fire." Okay. We were told, "Okay, now these vehicles are following you. You will get into vehicles and move into Dhaka."
Okay.
Okay. So the Pakistani army is there on the hill defending Dhaka. Yeah? Their soldiers of Baluch regiment, they are occupying the trenches, and they have been told not to fire on us. So they stood up on the trenches, showing their rifles to us, but no bad incident took place. We moved into Dhaka. Dhaka was being controlled by the Pakistan army because there was martial law. So they were occupying all the cross roads of in Dhaka, and so they were guiding their own vehicles, and they guided our vehicles also. I remember having passed this. There was a big hotel. I don't remember. Holiday Inn. So there was written a big banner, UN protection zone. No person to enter here, because that was United Nations had decided like that. So we went. The Pakistan army had already been told to pack up. They emptied their barracks, and in the evening was the ceremony of surrender, and our two para gave guard of honor to the General Arura, who was to come. He came, and the famous photograph you have seen, uh, Niazi signing the surrender and giving his pistol on the table, and the surrender took place. And we were told not to fire on the Pakistani army, and Pakistani army was told to collect their weapons, hand them over to the Indian.
Okay.
Their condition was that they were afraid that Mukti Bahini will take revenge on the Pakistan army. So they asked for protection of India. The Indian army said, we will protect you, but you surrender your weapons and none of your personnel should fight open fire on the Indian army. So that is how we captured. You see, we may be. It is the politics, government which decides who is our enemy. Okay, huh? And it is our government which decides that you will go into the war. The army only executes the war. Army never treats. I mean, that was our value system of Indian Army. That the opposite army is also doing their duty, and we are also doing their duty. So we are not actually enemies. We are doing our duty. We have to kill because they also got orders to kill. We will kill, and they will also shoot on us. Okay, but then once the Pakistani army decided to surrender, Indian army decided to protect them against the revenge of Mufti Bahini, so they were happy. And Indian army brought law and order into the capital. At some places there were still fighting going on. They were told to close. So on 16 December, they surrendered. Okay. So that was my participation in the war. Okay, when I joined 711, this battalion was in Sikkim. Okay, and it was near Gangtok. But there, what happened is that Chinese, they started to do aggressive. They came forward and up to the frontier, and the Indian general who was commanding the division, his name General Sagat Singh, very famous general. Okay, also a paratrooper. He was the one who captured capital of Goa
and later Dhaka as well.
And afterwards, of course, he was there leading on Dhaka. But he was very good general. He said, and General Arora was commanding the corps at that time, who was in Siliguri, and General. Now you can imagine General Sagat Singh, paratrooper, General Arora commanding, also a paratrooper. So you see, there was connection and between them. So the General Sagat said that the Chinese are aggressive. I will meet their aggression with aggression. If they attack us, I will also go into attack. So what happened is that he started putting barbed wire on the frontier. Chinese, they came. They said that this is no, you can't put the barbed wire. This, that. They had one political commissioner who was speaking Hindi in the loudspeakers and all. So General Sagat, he was not afraid. He said, Indian troops, you will occupy the border, up to the border, and you will put barbed wire. We will stop them. But the Chinese, they fired and they killed about 60 people. Okay, so 60 people. General Sagat Singh, he ordered artillery to move up and fire inside China on their army positions. So for 5 days they kept firing. So my battalion was also moved up, and but during that time, what happened is that I didn't participate in the war. I was doing a course in Darjeeling. So I felt in my mind, oh, no, I missed the war. Okay, my battalion, it occupied Chola Pass.
Chula
You know,
Pass.
there is Nathula, Chola, and other passes. And our sentries and Chinese sentries, they were just 3 feet away, facing each other. But I did not participate in this war. My battalion participated, and so it remained in my mind to join the war sometime later in my whenever the opportunity came, and it came after 4 years in Bangladesh. And so that is how the war started, and I participated in the Tangail jump. You want to ask any question that about the?
Yes, sir. The question
Mm,
I had is in 71, could you just
yes,
tell us a small snippet of like taking part in any small action or any action against the Pakistanis? I know you landed and you took part in the, I mean, capture of other areas, but like where you actually fought hand to hand and very close combat with or any fighting with the
yes.
Pakistanis.
Okay, okay. You see, first of all, I was with the company, and we were to occupy the bridge, one part of the bridge. So there we had to do a charge, but luckily for us, there was no Pakistani. Huh?
Okay.
Okay. Later on, in the defensive position, in the defensive position, this Pakistani. So after the bridge operation, we were moved to left side of the bridge, little far away, and other battalion occupied, and it was through other battalion areas that this Pakistani charged. So we did not. The only action I saw was next day. Next day, the people who had remained, these Pakistani people behind their army was shattered, and they were moving in small columns. They came in front of us, and we fired our weapons, and we asked for air support because they were in big number. And the aircraft came, and they attacked. They fired on those troops, and it was a very big spectacle because the aircraft makes such a noise while diving, and their bullets are very big, and when it fires over 1 kilometer, continues to fire. You know, their machine guns are very powerful, and there were lots of dead and all, but they did not come into our position. So in that way, I would say I entered the war, and I was a spectator of the war. I did not get. There was one officer of engineers who got a bullet. It passed through his helmet, but did not touch his head. Hmm? And you're lucky. And there were other people who were wounded, but not in my company. Okay, okay. And then after the war, we were returned to Tangail, and I was detailed to take the Pakistani prisoners, wounded prisoners, from Tangail jail to their hospital in Dhaka. So that was, I mean, there were officers also, so I had a chance to meet the Pakistani officers and talk to them and all. But when I brought them to the military hospital, the CEO of the military hospital, he was very nice. He offered tea, and he talked to me that he had done his medical studies in Amritsar Medical College.
Okay.
Hmm? I mean, I was lucky to be a spectator in this great operation, and lucky to escape that I was not injured, I was not killed, and and I participated. So that was, I would say, my great memory.
Right.
Hmm.
That is also quite
Okay.
phenomenal. And after
Uh,
the war, have you, sir?
after,
Yes, sir.
okay, after the war, what happened is that the aircraft which were used for paradrop in Tangail, the aircraft they returned and they took the other battalions of para brigade to the western sector.
Okay.
Okay, so the para brigade minus 2 para was deployed with 7 para and 8 para at Shri Ganganagar area, which is, I mean, touching Punjab and Rajasthan. Over there, they were deployed.
Okay.
Okay, and so 2 para after the operation was taken out from Dhaka, and we were told that your train is waiting for you. You move to the western sector with the brigade, and we joined brigade. And I went to see my brigade commander, thanked him for permitting me to join. He was very happy. He was very happy that, and he told me to write the account of the parachute operation, how it went. So after that, I wrote them, and he said, "Okay, we are continuing the parachute training. You will move to Agra, me as a staff officer, and you will organize the paratroopers training there." Okay, so I moved to Agra. Brigade is on the front, on the western front, and the 2 para has joined the brigade. Okay, and I am moved back to Agra to organize paratroopers training.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm in Agra now after the war. In 1972, in 72, in months of March, April, I was in Agra. Okay, so over there, I was organizing in conjunction with the Air Force paratroopers training, and I got the library opened because I wanted to read book, and suddenly my eye fell on book on skydiving. Okay, I read the book and I was thrilled of skydiving. Okay, many other officers had read the book before me, but suddenly it created sensation in me. Okay, so I said to myself, I must now do skydiving. So skydiving could not be done in India, and so it was either in UK or in USA. And in 1972, the brigade came back to Agra because peaceful conditions had returned in about in, May, June, I don't know, I don't remember exactly, and parachute brigade was moved back to Agra. So, so I went to my brigade commander. I said, I want to do skydiving. Okay. So he said, how will you do? I said, I will get the information from UK and USA, and let I will, once I have the information, I'll let you know. What happened is that in USA the military attaché was from my school,
Okay.
and we are a group which is very tightly knit group. So I wrote to the military attaché, and he sent me a whole lot of information to study. But USA was very far, and captain's pay was very less at that time. Very less. It was. I was getting how much? 1,200 rupees. That was my pay. Okay. And so how to go? USA was out. How to go to UK? UK, that was also not easy. I came to know from Air Force friends, because I was in charge of contacting Air Force every day for paratroopers training. So I was talking to pilots and this and that. They told me that every 2 months there is one Air Force aircraft, transport aircraft, which goes up to London, and it stops in it has got various stops. So if you can go in that aircraft, your air travel will be free. Hmm? So I told my brigade commander, now it is 1973, I told my brigade commander that I want to go into with that aircraft for skydiving during my annual leave. So he said, are you sure you can go? He said, okay, General I.S. Gill is coming on such and such day. I will speak to him. So General Gill, he came and he called me. He said, oh, you are sure where the aircraft goes? Because even he was not knowing. I said, yes, I found out from my air force. Okay, I will speak to the air headquarters because he was a director of military operations directly connected with the air force. So he said, I will to the air headquarters and find out if you can be taken in that aircraft. In the meantime, what happened is that one team of Nepal army came to see our training, parachute training.
Okay.
Okay, and I was told as a liaison officer with that team. So the Nepal army paratroopers. So I was just speaking to them that I want to do skydiving and I want to go to UK. You know, just speaking like friends. That fellow, he said, "Well, I have done my basic training in UK, and we were seeing on television lot of skydiving in France. I advise you to go to France." But I said, in France, he said, my country, we have done our parachute, we have done initial training in Israel, and Israel was using French parachutes. So we started to buy parachutes from France. So once I go back, I will send you the address of manufacturing company of parachutes to you. You write to them, maybe they will send you the information. Okay? You have understood now how the link up change. I am the liaison of the Nepal Army delegation which has come to watch our training, and this person gives me go to France, and because there the weather is much better, and this thing you do training. He sent me the address. I wrote to this company. Within 15 days, I got reply that you can go to such and such center where skydiving is. So after that, I told to General Gill that I want to go there. General Gill, he found out from the Air Force that the aircraft is going. So on such and such on 5th May 1973, he said aircraft is going. So, but I have to get permission of Defense Ministry because it does not take any passenger.
Okay.
It is the official aircraft taking material, engines or some other stuff of the Air Force for repairs to UK. It does not take passenger. So to be a passenger, Defense Ministry says okay. So I was left just 5 days before the aircraft was to go. I was called to Delhi that move your file, please. And everywhere I was getting no, we don't send passengers by the aircraft. Then finally, so I asked them, who can permit me? They said the highest officer who can permit you is financial advisor to Defense Ministry. I said, what is his name? So I took his name and I told Director of Military Operations, because General Gill had gone on leave, his deputy, I told him it's him who can give me permission. So he picked up telephone, he asked for meeting at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock we both went, and so he asked me, what should I tell him? I told him that the aircraft is going and there is a place for me, I can go with the aircraft, and my training will be very useful to the Indian Army. Okay? I must be permitted. He went inside, the meeting lasted 5 minutes, he said okay, fine, okay. So Many stories develop like that, and so now permission is given to me on 4th afternoon. Aircraft is taking off on 5th.
Mm-hmm.
4th May, I'm given permission, and 5th, I need visa. I need to send out a letter to everybody that I'm permitted to the Air Force office, which is controlling the movement of the aircraft. I went to French embassy. I said, "Look, I'm being permitted, and tomorrow the flight is going. Give me visa." I was in uniform. He said, "Sir, I will give you visa immediately." He put the stamp on my passport, and he gave me visa. I didn't even read what he had written.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and during these few days, I had gone around to get dollars. At that time, there was control of all foreign exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Dollars were not available.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the bank. They said, "We can't give you dollars. We don't know." I said, "I'm a student. Student of what? Skydiving." They said, we have opened the book. There is no studies at skydiving." So I went to black market. Black market.
To get the
Okay.
dollars.
Whatever money I had,
Mm-hmm.
I bought dollars. I hid them here and there on because I said that the customs
Mm-hmm.
they should not find out I'm carrying dollars. Okay, I managed to go, but it was very strange. The aircraft journey was like this. First day, take off from Delhi, land in Bombay, spend the night in Bombay. Okay. Next day, take off from Bombay and land in Djibouti.
Djibouti.
Now,
Okay.
I was not even knowing where is Djibouti at that time. Huh? It is opposite of Aden. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So you can imagine my mental condition. Okay, so aircraft went to Djibouti. So we stayed in. It was a French Air Force base, so there was no problem,
Mm-hmm.
and we spent the night in the officers' mess. Next day we took off from Djibouti and landed in Cairo, in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Spent the night there. Okay. For the crew, already the hotels and all they were arranged.
Mm-hmm.
Hotel. But me, I was passenger, and nobody had arranged hotel for me. But the crew, they were very, very nice. They hid me and took them to their room and this and that. And
Okay.
but in the evening, I could visit the pyramids, and I saw sound and light show of the pyramids in Cairo. Next day, we were supposed to take off and land in Rome and spend the night in Rome. But the pilot, he said they will continue and they will go to Paris.
Mm-hmm.
So we went and landed in after 3 days of flight in Paris. 3 days. You can imagine nowadays it is 8 hours. I took 3 days
Back then
to
it took
Paris.
days. Yeah.
Huh?
It took days
Yes.
back then. Yeah.
And then I told embassy personnel had come and arranged the hotel for the. So he said, "Okay, I will arrange a cheap hotel for you." So I was put in a cheaper hotel because I had no money. I had little money only.
Mm-hmm.
I was not having much money. The company had sent me approximate cost and all. So I bought dollars accordingly for 15 days stay and limited dollars. But anyway, I was not knowing one word of French. So when I was alone, I could not even speak and I could not even ask for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? I went to a restaurant and the boy, I spoke to him in English. He says he doesn't speak English. Yeah? Like that. Very difficult now. So I looked around and I saw neon sign. It was there, sandwich and cafe.
Okay.
Ah, I said okay. At least I know 2 words: sandwich.
Sandwich is there.
So I ordered for dinner, sandwich, cafe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I was used to Indian bread. You see, Indian bread is a loaf flat, but French bread is very big.
Mm-hmm.
It is this big, called baguette.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Baguette, yeah.
So he brought a baguette with this pork meat and all inside, and he brought black coffee. So I was not used to black coffee.
Mm-hmm.
In India, the coffee which I was used was with milk.
Mm-hmm.
I said, better not ask him for milk. I don't know what he will reply. Better to drink, eat your sandwich and take your black coffee and go to sleep. Okay. Next day, I was supposed to take the train and go to, which was 80 kilometers away, the skydiving center. I reached the railway station, yeah, and not knowing French, I looked around. I saw one written information, which is same in French.
Mm-hmm.
I went to I went to that window and I looked inside, and there was a girl. She looked at me. She had never seen a Sikh with turban. She burst out laughing. So I said, "Give me a paper. I will write down where I want to go." And I wrote down I want to go there, and so she helped me to buy the ticket. Okay, at the train time, uh, there was iron gates. You had to put your ticket inside, and the gate would open. But I was not knowing anything. So she saw my difficulty from far away. She came and helped me to put. Okay, for breakfast, I had to eat breakfast. What should I order now? Sandwich, cafe. Okay. Second time, sandwich, cafe. I took the train. I reached that place, and it was lunch time. Now what to eat? Sandwich, cafe.
Three times. Yeah.
Again, my condition, laughing as well as in difficulty, laughing at myself. That I know nothing. I cannot communicate, and but I have to survive. Okay, I just had that, and then I was to do a stop, and so that because the center was about 5 kilometers away from the railway station, it was a small airstrip. And in India, to stop the car or the bus, we were raising our hand like this. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
But in France, it is like this. So when I was raising my hand, people were sitting in their car. They were also raising their hand like this and continuing.
They went away.
I said, "Okay, Abba." I said, now I don't know how to reach.
Get a
But
bus.
luckily, one car stopped because that person had gone to India and he was knowing Indians. So he put me in his car. He said, "I will take you." So I reached over there, and there I met the chief, and I told him that I've come for skydiving. Then, over there, I went. But what happened is that I had brought foreign exchange only for 15 days stay and the jumps, because that is what the company had written to me.
Mm-hmm.
And here, the return aircraft was after 2 months, 2.5 months.
Okay.
Okay, and I had no money. So after 15 days, I went to the chief of the center. I said, "I'm stopping the training because no more money." But that person, he was so kind to me. He said, "You continue to stay free and you continue to jump free because you are the first Indian. And it is my pride to receive the first Indian skydive, to train the first Indian skydive." So, huh?
Wow.
So you can imagine how things are moving in my life. Okay, so I did 85 jumps of skydiving over there, and there I met one girl came near me because she said, "I've been to India."
Okay.
Okay, but not speaking English, huh? And I'm not speaking French. So what happened is that she came back after 1 week and she brought book on India. So she told me, I've been there. I've been to Sikkim. I've been there. I said, me also, I've been to Sikkim. We started like that, and on the last day of my stay in that skydiving center, as I was not having money, I wanted somebody to receive me in his studio, place of staying, and I saw her. I said, can I stay in your place in Paris? I've got 5 days before the aircraft comes, hmm? And I have no money to look for hotel. She said, ah, my parents, they have gone on leave. I give you my studio in Paris. You come and stay in my. I was not knowing that she was to become my future wife, because she was so nice to me to offer this, and then every day she was living in one tourist place, so that I could visit Eiffel Tower, I could visit so many places. She was leaving me there. She was going for work, and afterwards taking me back. I said, this girl is wonderful. Hmm? And me, already in my mind, project for opening a skydiving school in India had already taken birth.
Mm-hmm.
I was unmarried, and my parents had tried to marry me, to show me many girls, and it didn't work out. And I said, this girl is wonderful. I have to marry, after all, I have to marry a girl. Why not ask her to become my partner? But you see, the girl is not so easy, because she has to decide. Huh? My decision is there, but her decision is also there.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, I came back to India, and she was in France. We exchanged letters. That is where I learned how to write love letter. Because to write love letters is also an art.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she said she will come to India if she can do skydiving in India.
Okay.
Okay. So already the project is there, and she is there. She will come only if she can do skydiving. So it was encouragement for me to open a skydiving school. So I moved through many. General Kumaramangalam, who was president of Sports Authority of India. He was a paratrooper. He had commanded para brigade. I wrote directly to him the project. Okay, and I sent the project also to Mr. J.R.D. Tata, who was license number 1 pilot. So, and I got the letter reply back, yes, from both of them. And once I got the reply, General Gill was there, he was a paratrooper. I showed him the reply. Showed him the reply. He said, we will do it as a army project. Okay? Not with Mr. Tata, but as a army institution.
Okay.
And General Kumaramangalam also, who had accepted my project, he was a general who was Director General of Youth Services, Lieutenant General Candidate, who was famous for Goa operation.
Mm-hmm.
I was called by him for 3 months to be with him in his office and write the details of the project. And that time, General Raina was the chief of army.
Yeah.
He was also a paratrooper. So you can imagine General Kumaramangalam, paratrooper, who has accepted, General Gill, who has accepted, General Candidate Remkolian from my school.
Mm-hmm.
Horrid connection, called me to Delhi down the details, and let's prepare. And he told General Raina, who had succeeded him as army commander, that this project will be put up in defense, this chiefs of staff committee meeting, which meets every 6 months. Decision will be taken there, because that agenda is made by the defense ministry, and my project was put in that agenda by the army chief. So discussion took place. They said, we agree with the project, but we need to work out details, because it is new to them. What is skydiving? How it should be done? Who is the person who is presenting the project? Okay. So now it is 1975. 73 I went to France. 74 I prepared the project, and I kept relationship with Chantal, with my future wife Chantal, by the letters. And in January 75, she decided to come to India and join me. Okay. Okay. But I was not permitted to marry a foreigner, because that was the rule of the army. It was government to give me. Okay. Okay. At that time, so I asked for permission to marry her. But marriage, it takes, normal rule is 4 months. Okay. So we had to live in. And at that time, there was no live-in possibility in the Indian society, because not in India. But one army, they closed their eyes. They permitted me to live in, because no army office personnel should be in contact with foreigners. Okay, and she being French, foreigner, but I have no choice. Either she stays with me and I marry her, or she will say, you have got too many problems, I go back to France. So we are in living conditions. My application for marriage has gone. My project has been accepted, and so she's there in India. So I told to General Candidate that we must do skydiving demonstration in Delhi to present this project to the public. And when we did that skydiving demonstration, before that, General Candidate had contacted the television, and our interview was taken in the television. And then radio interview took place, and after that we did demonstration, and it was flashed on the first page of the newspaper. And public came to know what is skydiving, who is Shamsher Singh, who is this the girl with him, also a skydiver. Okay, and army headquarters, they were sleeping on my application for marriage. When they read the newspaper, and to the newspaper I told, we are already married. So army headquarters, they said, how dare you marry her without our permission? I said, you had told 4 months, you never replied. In 4 months you had to give decision, you never replied. So I went home, I got married. Okay. We will regularize, we will ask the government. What was blocked for 10 months got cleared in 4 days. The government gave permission, you can marry. So I invited, she was having a problem of visa, so I invited General, so I went to the marriage officer. Marriage officer, we want to get married. So tell me the Indian law. He said, Indian Marriage Act, 30 days, you have notice you have to give. This 30 days notice. Then he looked at Shanta. But in Christian Marriage Act, 5 days notice only. I said, put us in Christian Marriage Act. And my friend, I had a friend, uh, my course mate, who was commanding the president's bodyguard. I told him, we are getting married. I would like to get married in president's bodyguard mess. Huh? You organize my marriage there. I told the marriage officer. So marriage officer, he put us for Christian Marriage Act. He asked, where do you want to get married? I said, we want to get married in president's bodyguard mess. Okay, you will need two witnesses. Okay, I asked General Candidate to be my witness, and I asked General Gill to be witness for Shanta, and they both signed as witness, and it was very nice. Huh?
I mean, General Candeth, who fought on the Western Front, and General Gill, who was a World War II veteran.
Yes, yes. They are signed on our marriage certificate. And my friend, who was the commander of President's bodyguard, his mess organized my.
This certificate itself is a, document of history, sir. Yeah.
Yes. Later life after 71, that is skydiving. Okay. So now in 75 we gave the demonstration jump, right? So in 1979 the skydiving institute was permitted to be opened. So we both organized its registration, and we got the students who came to learn skydiving. And then you have written about my present life. Okay.
Yes, sir. After the after you left the army, so
Yes.
You left the army as a captain.
After the I left as captain. So I am always a captain.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Could you tell us a bit
Indian
about
Army.
you receiving the VSM, Vishish Seva Medal?
Yes.
That was.
You see, what happened? I had left the army, and suddenly I got information that I've been awarded. I left in July 1979. In 26 January 1980. Okay. In India, the awards were announced, and me, I was in France, so I was not knowing anything. Suddenly, I started getting letters, congratulations for VSM. Okay, so I, so I said, okay. So this VSM has been given to me for my contribution to the army for skydiving. For skydiving and my role in 1971 war and skydiving together, that was my citation was given. And after about 5-6 years, a military attaché in Paris, he called me, right, and he pinned the VSM on me in France, in Paris, in the attaché.
Wow.
Okay. I'm very. They are all friendly to me. All the embassy and all military attaché, they write to me even now. They send me New Year greetings and all. I'm very friendly. I'm friendly. So it has gone. Once I left the army, we left the army, came to France. Okay. So then what to do? I did not want to join and work. I'd become too independent, you see, because I was always working independently, having projects in my mind. So I said I cannot work under any other boss. So we started business. Okay. For business also, there is a small history that my wife Chantal, she was teaching French to some people in Agra, and one of the student was a businessman, okay, young businessman, and he heard that we were going to leave the army. So he said, when you go to France, open one shop. I'll be exporter and you will be importer there, and we will work together.
Okay.
He told to us in India only. We thought it's not a bad idea, good, and I don't want to work under anybody, and it is independent, so we will open a shop. So he became exposed to us, and slowly we progressed, and we became wholesalers, and it functioned very well. And as soon as the age for retirement came, we took retirement. We have got our house. Our two sons, they have become engineers. When they were in the school of engineering, there was student exchange program with IIT Delhi or Bombay, with the IIT. So they both of them, they did 1 year in IIT Delhi as student exchange, and we have brought them to India almost every year. They know India very well, and we are retired, comfortable, not kidding, just always thinking of new projects.
New projects.
My mind is always occupied by new projects, meeting with new people and talking, asking them what they are doing, like that. And if they have a project, to help them. Like you have got a project,
Yeah.
we have become friends. Now you know the Bangladesh war from the point of view of Mufti-Bani. You know from the point of view of Indian Army parachuting operation, and you have known my life, so it is nice. I'm very happy with my own life, very satisfied, and whenever I meet my friends, they are very happy with me. They meet me with open arms. They know me. Lots of people they know me, so it's very easy.
Have been left.
And today I put on red turban of the paratroopers for you.
I
This is
can see
red
that, and it's a maroon turban, I guess.
turban.
Maroon one, right? I mean,
Or
I've seen that. I mean, paratroopers wearing that maroon turban, and it looks like
maroon red.
of like red.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, red. We are supposed to be special. Now all paratroopers, they have become special forces.
Yeah.
From paratrooper they have been added to special forces. So they are paratroopers plus they do special operations, which details are not given out, behind enemy lines and enemy lines, even during peacetime. That is my regiment.
That is a wonderful
You,
experience of the war, sir. Like of the war, your
so,
life regarding skydiving, starting the skydiving federation in India.
yeah.
Yeah.
And even now, I'm helping them to restart skydiving. What happened is that after we left, uh, the officers in the army, there is a turnover of officers. Okay, officers, they are for 2-3 years in one job. After that, they change over. They go to border. They come back to peace station. After 3 years, they again go. So what happened is that the skydiving institute, it closed down.
Right.
Okay, it closed down. What we started, it closed down. Then suddenly, one friend of mine, my course mate in USA, he sent me cutting that the government of India is has made a policy to promote aerosports. Okay, and skydiving is included. So now you can imagine I'm getting information of Indian government from USA. The friend sent to me. I said it is very nice. That means there is skydiving can be restarted. So I motivated some officers whom I was knowing to write down the project and give it to the government. They have written. So I wrote down in France. I sent to them, and they have written down. They are getting a organization registered, and once the organization is registered and it is accepted by the government of India under that policy, then I have written to them how to organize. How to, that is there in my mind. They are doing it. They are doing it. Let's hope. Let's hope they are as lucky as me. Because me, I'm very lucky. You see, this luck comes when you are dedicated to your work. Luck comes.
Yeah.
Dedicated.
Yeah.
And you believe what you are doing. And so that when the other people, they see you, they say, this man believes. That means his work is true. He's correct. And they become helpers. So I was lucky. I did my work. Let's hope they also can do their work.
Let's
Till the time I'm going.
hope for the best, sir. And let's
Yes,
hope for the best.
yes. Let's hope for the best.
Yeah.
But you see, I've done, even in France, I have taken up projects and which were accepted. You see, what happened is, I must share with you that in 1987, French president was presenting for re-election. Okay? French president. So in the television every day, he was saying, France, a democratic country. Democracy. Okay. Me, I had, observed in India the democracy. And in India, what happened at that time, one law had been made that the women will be represented in municipalities, 30%. Now it has become 50%. Okay. So I wrote to the president who is presenting for the re-election. I said, your democracy is not up to the mark, because the real democracy is when 50% of the male population is represented equally with 50% of the female population, women. Okay? Okay. He replied back to me. He said, in France, man can present himself for election, woman can also present. It is for the electorate to choose. I wrote back to him, but that is the law of jungle. Because women, they don't want to present themselves, have competition with man, because man can insult them. So, our parliament is, French parliament is 90% men and 10% women. I said, it must change. Okay, our thing finished, because with president you can't keep fighting, you see. I wrote to one woman politician who had been a minister in the earlier government. No reply. Then I wrote to one woman, wife of the justice minister, who was a feminist fighting for the rights of women. She replied. She said, I agree with you. 15 years passed. Okay, after these letters. In the meantime, women had asked for equality, and commission was set up, and these two women, they were part of the commission, and the law was passed for the equality of the women.
Okay.
So you can imagine how the luck and the ideas and the projects are sent to the person who can take decision, and it happens.
Yeah. They get to the right person.
The right person who can take decision, not the lower who cannot take decision.
Right.
So even I continue my work, think of new ideas, and whatever I can, whatever I come in contact with. Right. So that is my life. Now I'm retired since 15 years. I have my own house here. My children, they are grown up. They are doing their work. They are having their families. One has married one girl from Romania. I married French. He has married from Romania, and the second boy, he is married from Ukraine.
Ukraine. Okay.
So our family is all globalized.
Globalized.
Global,
Right.
globalized.
Globalized.
Hmm.
Right. I mean, and it all started with you, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
I told my Chantal, come, let's do skydiving together in India. Let's get together. Eh?
Right.
And it happened.
Mhm.
And then let's get together for this work. Let's get together. Let's have a family. Yeah, and let's do this. Let's do. And it happened. It happened. So
Even
that
this
is
is a
life.
wonderful learning experience from for me as well, from you, learning about just following your own instincts.
Well, so here I am,
Yeah.
76 years. My age is
76.
76.
Okay. And I mean, have you ever been to Bangladesh after the war, sir?
After the war, I could not go because I took up skydiving and all,
Mm-hmm.
huh? And Bangladesh war was in 71. Came to France in 73. 75 we gave demonstration. From 75 to 79 we progressed the work. 79 I left. I came in France. But now they invite
Mm-hmm. Now they're
the
inviting
Indian
Indian
officers.
army delegates.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
My company commander he has been, and and there is another officer. I had written to you, Brigadier Omkar Singh.
Omkar
Okay,
Singh.
you met him in Chandigarh. You met
Mm-hmm.
him in Chandigarh. He went to Tangail and he has collected a soil from the dropping zone. He said he has kept it for me.
Mm-hmm.
The soil where I touched down, he has kept it in a small packet
Mm-hmm.
as as a souvenir, as a remembrance. Mm.
That's the
So
soil
all.
of Tangail with your battalion. As of now, I don't have any questions. I learned everything that you have said to me, sir, and
You have
it's
learned, yes.
such a pleasure and
No.
honor to talk to you. I mean, first of all,
It
seeing
was
you
nice.
face to face. I mean, I've talked to you, but it's really
It was
nice
nice.
seeing you face to face.
It's nice. I have seen and talked to you. Now you know me, and we have done this meet. It was nice. You organized. I got it just some time back. I said, how will I do
Mm-hmm.
on the telephone smartphone? I could see, but then you came.
Yeah.
Okay, we could do it. Okay, thank you very much.